the idea of creativity. And when ideas are meant to be born, they will be born. And they kind of just have to find the right person to bring them into a reality. So the reason I mention this is, and I've mentioned this in another video that I did that I highly recommend, and I said I would be talking about some of the episodes of the telepathy tapes. So telepathy tapes done by 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐿 and listening to the second season. And in one of the episodes, they talk about consciousness and how ideas sort of are floating. Okay, so imagine, you know what light waves are, sound waves. So everything is a frequency, everything is a wave. So imagine inspirational ideas are floating in the waves of consciousness, right? Which we are all connected to. And an idea will come to you, right? An idea will come to you of something that needs to be brought into physical reality. Could be, think of authors, and if you've ever listened to an author interview and they'll say, well, I had to write this book. This just came to me. It was downloaded. They use the word downloading a lot. I talk about that with postcards to the universe. I heard it. I heard it not from me. It was given to me and I had to do something with it, and I have been doing something with it, and this is what I'm doing, part of what I'm doing right here, right? But if it didn't come to me, it's about people creating, using their creativity to manifest what they want, and I use photography as a tool for that and creativity. It would have floated to someone else and gone to someone else. And so Kai interviews author Elizabeth Gilbert, and she talks about this extensively, and that's a lot what her book Big Magic is about. Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love. Everybody probably knows at least that book, Eat, Pray, Love. So she's talking, I listened to the interview, and she's talking to Elizabeth Gilbert, and Elizabeth Gilbert says that she believes, and I believe this too, it makes so much sense, that there are certain times in as we are evolving as a consciousness, as a collective, that things need to be brought into a physical reality and need to be birthed. So it's not that we had the idea necessarily, it's that the idea was ready to be born, so it floats through the frequencies. It's kind of like turning on a radio station. You tune to a certain station to hear a certain kind of music. You tune into another station, you'll hear a different kind of music. You tune into another station, you may be too far away and it's static. You see what I'm saying? So certain people may get more tuned in because of what they're already doing, like authors who write books. Get an inspired idea to write a book about something, right? For a reason. There is a reason behind it. There is a greater intelligence behind it. And it drops into you. And if you don't take it, which is fine, you may be too busy, you may have too many other things going on, it will leave you and it will go to somebody else because it's not yours. See, that's the thing that's so interesting. We are shifting to what is mine, what is yours, what is over there, who that person is, that culture, that thing, to a more collective community of it's ours. We are all one. We are collective consciousness. Okay. Now stay with me because I know it sounds trippy. So this idea that, like, let's say something in science, a science breakthrough needs to be born. And the idea is not going to come to me because I don't have the science background, right? I don't know anything about, numbers and science. So it's going to be floating around and it's going to drop into somebody who already has this kind of background that could birth it. I am a photographer, right? So using a creative way and a visual tool to help in us manifesting, it would make sense that it would drop into me, into my mind from a higher consciousness to bring it forth, because Postcards isn't about me just collecting people's manifestations and wishes. It's about me using photography to help facilitate and project your desire, whoever creates a postcard, into the universe. So I am like I help with the visual component of projecting it out there. And because I wanted to do this, and I'm very interested in becoming a conscious co-creator with the universe for my own life, how do I facilitate that on a bigger, wider, more global platform, global scale, right? So everybody has something different. So what I found really interesting, and this can kind of like reiterate like what she really meant, and what I mean when I'm talking about this. And if listen to the telepathy tapes, highly recommend it. So Elizabeth Gilbert said that she had a idea for a book. She had the character story basically already written, known what she was going to do, but life was taking over and she had other things going on, and she never brought the book forward. She never brought this story forward. So she happened to have lunch, and I wish I remember who it was with, another very well-known author, another female author, but I cannot for the life of me remember her name. I'm terrible with names, so sorry about that. But listen to the episode and you'll know. And they were having lunch. Now, this is a couple years later, and they were talking about, what are you working on? What are you working on? And she's like, well, I have this idea for this book. And she said, can I share it with you? And the other author shared the idea that she wanted the book that she was working on. And Elizabeth Gilbert explains, like, her mouth just dropped open, because it was exactly what she had started but never completed. And she said that it left her, like, when she sort of knew that it wasn't working or she couldn't work it, the idea just left her. It was no longer in her own personal consciousness. But it's so interesting that it said, okay, well, this story needs to be written, so I'm gonna go over here because she's ready to write the story. And that's how it works. So if you've ever been in that, like, if you've ever heard somebody say, or you yourself said, oh my God, that's such a great idea. I had that idea back in, 2015 or whatever, and you never did anything with it. Well, the idea left you and it went to somebody who did do something with it, right? That's the thing. Like, my mom shares the story of a kid of when I was a baby, about putting like little ducks and chickens and all these cute things on Pampers, and writing to Pampers and like doing it, like making them like very cute like that. Because with me, I guess she used to use cloth. That just dates me, but whatever. But when they started like introducing disposable diapers, and she had that idea back then, but of course she didn't do anything with it, and eventually that's what happened, right? And that's how it works. So if you're being called to bring something forth, bring it forth. But if you aren't, don't worry about it, because it will be brought forth by somebody somewhere. All right. Just thought I would share that. See you guys next time. Bye.